Example 5 says find the derivative using the quotient rule and then the power rule. F of x equals 5 over x to the 6th power. So if we're finding the derivative, that would be bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. So that is going to equal 0 minus 30x to the 5th power over x to the 12th power. And that equals negative 30x to the 5th over x to the 12th, which equals negative 30 over x to the 7th power. Now let's do it using the power rule. So we can rewrite this as 5x to the negative 6th power. And so if we calculated the derivative using the power rule, then 5 times negative 6 is negative 30, x to the negative 7th power, and we could rewrite that so it matches what we got previously. And those match up, so we are good. Okay, let's do part B. So that's bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared, which is going to be x to the 6th power. So you have 28x to the 6th minus 21x to the 6th minus 3x squared all over x to the 6th. And that's going to be 7x to the 6th minus 3x squared over x to the 6th. And if we divide now, that should be 7 minus 3 over x to the 4th, like that. Okay, so that is our derivative function. Let's do that now using the power rule. So I'm going to rewrite this. If I divide, then we get 7x plus 1 over x cubed, which I'm going to rewrite like that. And if we take the derivative of that, we get 7 minus 3x to the negative 4th, which equals 7 minus 3 over x to the 4th, like that. As you can see, the power rule is a lot quicker and you're less prone to making algebraic mistakes than when you're using the quotient rule. So if possible, try to use the power rule over the quotient rule whenever possible. Example 6 says, suppose that the revenue function for a flash drive is given by r of x is equal to 10x plus 100x over 3x plus 5, where x is the number of flash drives sold and r is in dollars. Part A says, find the marginal revenue function. So our marginal revenue function is just equal to the derivative of the revenue function, which is this part here is just going to be 10, and then plus, for this, if we're taking the derivative of this second part here, we need to use the quotient rule. So it's going to be bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. So that equals 10 plus the fraction 300x plus 500 minus 300x over 3x plus 5 quantity squared. And there'll be some nice cancellation there. All right, so this is our marginal revenue function. Part B says find the marginal revenue when x is equal to 20. So we want to evaluate r primed of 20, and that's going to equal 10 plus 500 over 3 times 20 plus 5 squared. And that will be 3 times 20 is 60. 60 plus 5 is 65. And then 65 squared is 4,225. So I have gone ahead and thrown that into my calculator, and we get that that is equal to $10.12 if you round that up. And the interpretation of that means that the revenue from the sale of the 21st flash drive will be approximately $10.12. And that concludes this section.